So my name is Ryan Gallagher, and we're here with the Outsider Gaming podcast. On board today, we have Quinn Kwon, who is part of Delabs Games, and she is the spokesperson and the head of strategy for this gaming company. And as I understand it, they have a new racing game that's coming out. So we're here to learn more about that. So thanks for joining, Quinn.
Thank you, Ryan, for the intro. Hi, I'm Quinn. I'm head of business strategy here at Delabs Games. I guess I can start maybe with an introduction of Delabs Games.
Sure, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. So Delabs Games, we're a game development studio based in South Korea. And right now we're building 3 different Web3 games. We're actually a subsidiary of a bigger mobile gaming company in South Korea, which is called 433 Creative Labs. So this company has been running since for like 13 years. We've had a bunch of blockbuster mobile games, so we're really like experts in the mobile scene. Our CEO also, before founding 433 and then Delabs, he used to be also a CEO at Nexon.
Okay.
So back in when like MapleStory started, Kartrider, actually our producer for Rumble Racing Star, which is the racing title. The producer used to be a producer for Crazy Racing Kartrider, which is one of the biggest racing titles here in South Korea.
Awesome.
Yeah, so more about the games we're building. We're building 3 different titles. One is Rumble Racing Star, casual racing game, and then we have 2 other titles lined up, which one is called Space Frontier, which is a survival crafting RPG. And then we have another character collection action RPG called Metabolt, which is kind of anime style theme. So we have those 3 games lined up right now.
Very nice. And are those 3 games all in like creation stage, or what is the status of those 3 right now?
Yeah, so Rumble Racing Star, actually, we just finished our closed beta 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So we had it open for 1 week. We had a bunch of events going on. We had a lot of people come in. So we had 10K pre-registered users, and then we had over like 40K races actually raced in the game, as well as there's a mode called friendly match mode, which is more of a community like driven, like you play with your friends kind of thing. So there were a bunch of races played for that as well. So we just finished up closed beta. We're gathering data, fixing bugs, and preparing for open beta, which is coming in October.
Awesome.
And then the other 2 games are actually more still in the development stage. So we'll have we had like some alpha builds in-house, but for more like public things, they're all coming down the line.
Very cool. So I guess with these games and with your, I guess, all mobile games in the past, who are the people that are playing and most interested in these games?
So I think since we're going into the web space, so far we've had a lot of attention, and I think most of our community that is built around Rumble Racing Star is an audience more familiar with Web3. And we haven't really put out, I guess, a lot of marketing efforts, because those things usually come when we actually open it to the public for open beta and grand launch. So for those, we really expect more just the traditional gaming audience to come in and play. But so far, a lot of our community members are actually more from the Web3 side, because we also did some NFT mint, our Delabs Adventure Pass. So a lot of people in our community are Adventure Pass holders, and kind of we did a lot of collaborations with PFP NFT projects. So we have a lot of people coming in from those as well. So far, it's been a lot of Web3 audience coming in and playing our game, engaging with our community.
Cool. And so I guess for background, I've talked to a couple different people within the Web3 space, and it seems like there's a lot of people like within that community, which is kind of like almost like an echo chamber. Like everyone is really down with it within that community, and then outside of it, it seems like people are still trying to understand what it means for their gaming experience. Because I think, I would have a lot of questions, and I've only learned about the Web3 gaming space through these interviews. So I feel like average gamers are still have a lot of questions. What do you think people would want to know about like the Web3 and that intersection with specifically Rumble racing?
With So I think just in general, I think it might be helpful to talk a little bit about why, like, we at Delabs Games kind of started making Web3 games. And like, we're really aware that a lot of the games before have been play to earn. It was more about like driving people in with this attractive economic model, and then kind of that having people see that fail, like for the past few years. I think a lot of Web3 games have been about that like P2E model, and that's where kind of the Web3 gaming scene started. But what we saw like at Delabs Games, actually our CEO, Quinn, he used to be a psychology professor, and I think like games are really tied to psychology, and we kind of talk about this in-house. But in the gaming scene, what we saw that users were tired of was like the free-to-play model, which was monetizing users like super heavily. And that's really big also, like especially in the MMORPG space. That's really big in Korea, and we've seen a lot of that happen, and we've seen users really get tired of that experience. But what we saw in blockchain was kind of a different way to approach the interaction between the gaming studio and the users, in that it could create an interest alignment. So we don't monetize the users like as heavily and as evilly as these MMORPGs and like these free-to-play games in the mobile space have done in the past. But we try to grow the user base with the user and with the community, like really engaging in a transparent way, which the blockchain like layer really enables. And having that both the psychology of ownership, of being able to own assets that you purchase, like to play in the game, and be able to like sell that later if you're leaving, or kind of have your interactions with the game be able to be monetized. I think that's one thing. And being able to own those assets is one thing. And then the second thing is actually having the community really participate and engage deeply and have that voice heard, and kind of your engagement and like user-generated content, like all these things can come together. And if we find a right way to be able to reward these users, like algorithmically through the blockchain, that really creates an interest alignment between the company and the users. So that's what we saw kind of in the blockchain space. And with Rumble Racing Star, I think we're really trying to approach this in a community-driven way. So we're trying to build a platform where different communities can come in and do like friendly competition, as well as actually create like content, and with that engagement, drive, I guess, a community-driven game where the engagement and like the direction can be driven more by the community, and they can be rewarded in the right way for that. So I think Rumble Racing Star as a casual game with that like social nature of playing with your friends, interacting like through racing, can really bring that experience.
Very cool. Yes. Do you guys have like, I don't know if you've released any gameplay or any? I didn't see any for like prior to this call, but I didn't know. Do you have any gameplay released or any teasers yet out there?
Yeah, for Rumble Racing Star, we have a bunch of gameplay videos. So
Nice.
for closed beta, we had some streamers come in as well. We have some videos that we film in-house that we post on our YouTube, Twitter,
Cool.
and then there should also be content from other streamers and content creators who participated in our closed beta.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm definitely always interested in racing games. I feel like, just we still in my friends, we still play Mario Kart, and stuff like that is always fun. It's like kind of like a timeless sort of game. So yeah, I think as far as working in the Web3 space with that, I guess you would see a lot of like, you mentioned maybe users will have different assets. I'm sure maybe like different cars, wheels. I guess take me through what that looks like a little bit within that game. What are the, I guess, parts where users will have input and then other parts where they won't?
Yeah, so I guess separating, I think it would be helpful to start with just the gameplay itself and like the nature of it and what kind of elements there are. So first of all, there are characters which have their own unique skills. So when you race, like you have to fill up the skill gauge and you'll be able to use the skill, and they all have unique skills. So you choose your character based on what kind of skill and like what kind of track as well, what kind of game. And then we have the lawnmowers, which we are a lawnmower racing game. So our carts are actually lawnmowers. So lawnmowers have different stats and you can choose them. Some of the lawnmowers are actually going to be NFTs. So if you get these lawnmowers, they're going to be tradable and mintable. And then they will also have like a special like upgrade functionality that is going to come out as well. So those are the main NFTs because in a racing game, I think the biggest aspect is the cart.
Definitely.
And then we have a bunch of items that you get on the track. So like I think you can imagine Mario Kart. So what we really focus on like for the game itself is being able to strategize between choosing the character and the cart and that combination, as well as like the combination of that with the items you use and like depending on which track you actually race on. So having to strategize that is really important. More on the side where users will be able to put in input. So some things that we're doing in terms of that. So one thing we do is we've integrated with a lot of PFP NFTs. So we have official partnerships with a lot of the big PFP projects, and we actually integrated their characters into the game. And for holders of some of those projects, they'll be able to use their NFT as different aspects, and you'll be able to unlock that specific character as well as use your own one in your license plate as decals, as flags, things like that. So kind of bringing in that community side of things into our game. And we're also thinking of doing some lighter partnerships with the different NFTs so that we can really have that initial level of interoperability with different NFTs that are out in the market. And also with the, I guess, user participation part, we're kind of in the stages of testing this out, seeing what exact system would work best for this, but we're really trying to create a system where our active participants can really have a say in, for example, the next update or which event mode they would like to see, which item. We're thinking of creating these kind of items. We want to really hear from the community. So we're trying to start that real community-driven initiative of engaging with us and how the game development direction is going. And more down the line, we really want to do that in a more transparent way using blockchain. We're kind of in the testing grounds for that right now.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it seems like a lot is possible as far as like everyone I've talked to in Web3 is like saying all this is possible, but it's really like you said about the feedback you get for that specific game, right? because some things, it just doesn't make sense for the game, or it doesn't make sense for the people. Like if people want to spend more time, less time, you need different tools for content generation. How much is it worth? How much time is worth for them to spend on creating, or adding feedback and things like that. So it's definitely important to, like what you're saying, test, I guess, beforehand, and really gauge what people are liking. I actually, while you were talking, I was checking out the trailer, and then I was going to try to share my screen so people watching this could see. I'm going to see if this works over here. Let's see. See if I can bring this up. That's not going to let me. Too bad.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, I needed to grant permission, and it's asking me to close down Skype and do it all over again. So.
Oh no, I can see your screen though.
Oh, can you?
It's not playing. I see the YouTube screen.
Oh, do you? Well, maybe it will work. But yeah, I was checking this out. I thought it was pretty funny, the characters and the carts that you guys have. Hopefully, people can also see this while we're recording, and if you can't, they have the game trailer under Delabs Games. It's called Rumble Racing Star, and you'll see it says official trailer. But yeah, I mean, this would definitely fall in line with a game that I could see myself playing. I feel like personally, I play games that are kind of simple, and I mean, that's why I still have like a GameCube, and I still have I play games like I said, Mario Kart, Super Strikers, Mortal Kombat, like pretty simple, but also like you play with your friends. A lot of times, like friends will come over, and we'll do something like that. So I feel like those type of games are always up my alley, at least. But what about you, Quinn? Are you a gamer, or like do you have any favorite games that you personally play?
I do. I'm a pretty big casual gamer. I don't do like really hardcore games, but I love Mario Kart. If you love Mario Kart, you'll definitely love our game. Rumble Racing Star is, I think it's pretty similar in terms of like the nature. It's very different in terms of like character variety and like item variety. So I think it'll be a really fun, different experience, but kind of in the same alley. I really like Stardew Valley. That's one of my favorite games. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom a lot recently. I've been obsessed. So that's one of my favorite games right now as of the moment. But I play a lot of games on the Switch.
Yeah, I have the Switch as well. Yeah, I've never played Stardew Valley. I've heard people really like that one. It's like a popular title. And then the Tears of the Kingdom game is like super popular. And I feel like